I know you grew up in Liberia where civil conflict griped the country until 2003. And so even despite that, you were able to, overcome those obstacles and thrive, ultimately, winning scholarships to go to high school in the United States and then ultimately to university. And I was wondering, can you give us a little bit of background about your experience and kind of how you got to where you are today?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here with you all, sharing our stories today. My name is Sona Traore, as she said, and I was born in the hands of my grandfather, who was a medical doctor, at our home in Monrovia. Like in the hands of a man whose life was an inspiration to me, and he had shaped who I, became today. My grandfather, Dr. Kere Samba Konde is his name, came from a village, and he was one of 4 siblings, and probably the second one who ever got to that level of education. The war in Liberia ended when I was about 8 years old in 2003. And although I was really young, I remember seeing some of, the things like parents or families being displaced, in the streets, carrying everything they could because that's all that was left on their heads and stuff like that. But again, in those times, there were hope, and he opened the door of his clinic to a lot of people, provided treatment, and because they had nowhere to go. And there was something that he always mentioned, which was to tell us to like go to school, be focused. And I remember that he said one thing that means a lot of things to me today, which was that we should make sure we go to school, and that one day when he's no more, that's something that's going to take us through. And in as much as I didn't understand that then, today it has so much meaning. And I lost my grandfather when I was 14 years old, and it, kind of felt like my whole world was done. But I knew I had to go on because I couldn't let him, let all of what he has instilled in me to just, die like that. A year after that, like I got accepted into the Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study Program to study for a year as a high school student in the US. My experience was wonderful and life-changing. I remember like coming back, as a new person, refreshed and energized to give back to my country. I still had 2 years to complete in high school. So I attended the Muslim Congress High School here in Liberia. And at that place, I displayed like all of the things that I've been learning over the time and represented my school at a lot of programs at events that give voice for young girls like me. Immediately after that, I got another scholarship to study for my bachelor's in Turkey in early childhood education. And I then continued the activism and, passion for education and stuff there. And at the end of my program, I moved back, and I remember when I was about to come home, it was like, yes, I think I'm ready to go and get back in the best way possible. And that was through education. And that's how I landed here at the Monrovia Football Academy as a teacher, and also developed from there.